News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
It was a busy Sunday for Missoula City Fire. Good morning, everyone. This is Montana Morning. It's Monday, July 6, 2015. The sky is partly cloudy right now. It's a very mild 57 degrees in Missoula. Thanks so much for joining us on this edition of Montana Morning. Our newscast sponsored by Kootenai Creek Village, the maintenance-free active adult community in Stevensville. Call 777-5387. This morning's top story, the Missoula City Fire Department responded to an early morning fire at 1700 Cooley Street, number 10, it's a mobile home park. Battalion Chief Dick Ware was on the first truck to arrive at the fire that was reported to 911 just after 3:30 yesterday morning.
A small room and contents fire that we knocked down rapidly. Not too much damage, some smoke damage. And then the resident, Red Cross, came in and they put her up for a few nights.
Ware described the response to the early morning fire.
3 engines, a truck, and a battalion chief responded to the call. We also had the fire marshal came in to investigate. We kept it to the room of origin. It didn't spread in the trailer itself. They were lucky we got there pretty rapidly. They didn't have any smoke detectors, but they woke up with the smoke. They did smell the smoke, so that was good.
The fire marshals determined the cause of the fire to be electrical. Damages to the mobile home, about $8,000. Repeating again, Ware said the mobile home was not equipped with smoke detectors. Firefighters emphasized the fact that smoke alarms save lives and that a working smoke detector cuts the chances of dying in a house fire in half. A 32-year-old man has died in a fireworks accident at a Billings residence. Billings Police Sergeant Harley Cagle said the accident occurred about 10:30 Saturday night. It appeared to involve a mortar tube. Cagle said the man did not live at the residence. His name not immediately released. Cagle said others were at the residence, but no one was hurt. The incident remains under investigation. A hot June in northwest Montana appears to have resulted in record electricity consumption. According to Flathead Electric Cooperative analyst Wade Harris, preliminary data shows the electric utility had higher electricity demand last month than any other June on record. Total electricity consumption was 17% above average, and demand peaked at 26% above average. The Daily Interlake reports the previous high electricity use recorded in June by the cooperative was in 2008. Last week, a large portion of Montana entered D2, or severe drought conditions. Farmer Dick Erb was on Talkback last week and says the drought will have a big impact on his Mission Valley hay production.
I have a farm. I farm 240 acres and I raise hay in Moise up in the Mission Valley. And we have a very large irrigation project, 130,000 acres. And we are basically almost out of water. And, it's something that suddenly it's a crisis.
Montana Department of Agriculture spokesman Jason O'Neill said if D2 conditions persist, it could trigger an emergency declaration by the Department of the Interior.
There's an automatic trigger that goes into effect if a county has been in that D2 severe drought designation for 8 continuous weeks. Missoula, Mineral, Ravalli, Flathead, Lincoln, Sanders, all the way over into Powell, too. So there's several counties that just have hit that designation for the first week. We'll be watching that really closely.
O'Neill says an emergency declaration could come as early as this week by Interior Secretary Vilsack. Such an announcement would allow federal funds to flow to counties to help them recover. A 37-year-old man has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for sexual abuse of children. Joshua Frederick Nathy of Summers was sentenced Thursday by Flathead District Judge Ted Limpus. He was given credit for 319 days already served. The Daily Interlake newspaper reports the sentence is in accord with a plea agreement signed in April on felony sexual abuse of children. Nathy is the first to be sentenced of 7 men who were arrested in a police sting last summer. Several others have already pleaded guilty to sexual abuse of children and are due for sentencing hearings. Several others, however, have pleaded not guilty. The July 2nd deadline to file for election to the Missoula City Council passed at the close of business last Thursday at the County Elections Office. Lead Elections Clerk Marianne Lemons outlines the candidates running in each ward.
We have 2 people running in Ward 1. That's Heidi West and Bill Murray. Ward 3, we have Gwen Jones and Ben Hart. Ward 4, we have John DeBari and Patrick Weaselhead. Ward 5, we have Julie Armstrong and Chase Callan. And Ward 6, we have Michelle Karras, Rick Brown, and Michael Ellsworth.
Lemon said only one race has enough candidates to qualify for a primary.
4 people running in Ward 2. That's Anita Green, Harlan Wells, Jack Rowan, and Aylin Inman. With Ward 2 having 4 people running for that position, we will be having a primary in September.
The 2 top vote getters in that primary will go down to the general election ballot in November. Half of the Missoula City Council could be comprised of new members in January of next year. A 55-year-old man suffered leg injuries when his ultralight aircraft crashed in Gallatin County. Authorities say the crash occurred about 11 o'clock Friday morning. The pilot was taken to an area hospital. No names have been released. This year, Montana will celebrate rural areas with the first ever Open Lands Month. Throughout July, there'll be various community activities in Missoula and around the state. Event planner for the Rural Landscape Sciences, Callie Betcher, explains the reason for the startup this year.
July is special also because it's the 40th anniversary of the Open Space Land and Voluntary Conservation Easement Act. Is, I think, a great way to celebrate the 40th anniversary, and this was recognized by Governor Bullock in, I think, December or January, and has then gone on from there.
Some local activities include a weed pull, the opening of Grant Creek Trail, and even an awards ceremony.
I think this is going to be one that will be really exciting, as we're going to be announcing the 2015 Land Stewardship Award recipient this month, and we'll be having a celebration about that.
The weed pull kicks off the celebration today. Of course, I've got my own weeds to pull. For more information, visit openlandmt.org. The record warm temperatures in northwestern Montana have hastened the area's cherry harvest. Some of the early cherries are already at roadside stands. Ken Edgington is a member of the board of directors of the Flathead Cherry Growers, a cooperative with some 70 members. Edgington told the Missoulian newspaper that the cherry harvest is about 10 to 11 days early. He says this year's harvest could be slightly smaller than last year, but the fruit should be bigger and better. Our news talk time now is 6:12.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Ample sunshine today with our high temperatures in the mid-80s. Winds will be light at around 3 to 6 miles per hour. Mostly clear tonight, lows in the mid-50s. Isolated showers and storms with highs in the mid-80s on Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.